What do you think are the chances of a Third World War?
Well, I think that provided the nations of the free world don't throw away everything we've done in the last 10 years in building up a tremendous deterrent to aggression, provided that is understood and done, then I think the chances of a Third World War in any future we can foresee are very small. If we can do in this country without national service, from the point of view of numbers, I think it's right. But I would rather doubt whether they will get the numbers they want, which is 375,000 regulars. I would doubt it.
Field Marshal, if we may begin by looking back, what has been the most memorable event in your career so far?
Well, over 50 years, it's not awfully easy to say that. I think that probably when I left Sandhurst and joined the army, I wondered whether things were going to be quite as I thought, and that was a very exciting moment. I went straight from Sandhurst to join my regiment in India, on the frontier of India, and became mixed up in a certain amount of trouble with tribesmen and that sort of thing. And then I think probably the next thing was going out to the First War, which I did in command of a platoon of 30 men. And I didn't find things quite as I thought war would be, a bit different. That was the second one. And I think the third one would be when I took command of the 8th Army. That was a tremendous, it was the first time really that I was able to exercise really independent command in the field and do what I liked. Great thing never do what you like, you know.
What do you think are the chances of a Third World War?
Well, I think that provided the nations of the free world don't throw away everything we've done in the last 10 years in building up a tremendous deterrent to aggression, provided that is understood and done, then I think the chances of a Third World War in any future we can foresee are very small.
Are these Russian Sputniks a threat to world peace?
No. I think that people have become rather, I think the word would be emotionally disturbed by the satellite, which had to come scientifically, and which I said so 2 years ago. It has a military significance, of course, because it will enable you to photograph your enemy's country. Eventually the satellite will be controlled, and you will have eventually television equipment inside it. All those sort of things will come. But I don't see why it should be a threat to peace. I think it's just a scientific advance. I think the deterrent to aggression on the part of any ruler today is very great. And he knows that if he launches aggression, his country will be destroyed.
Should British troops remain in Europe indefinitely, in your opinion?
The word indefinitely is wants a bit of looking at. They must certainly remain there, and American troops and Canadian troops. Now, the reason is not so much that they're wanted for security reasons, it is to give confidence. You see, the nations of Europe don't really trust the overseas people. They think that they might get out. They don't trust, I think the continental nations don't really trust the British. They say, we know you're British. Dirty work happens and you go out through Dunkirk or something. We want you here. They don't trust the Americans. They say, we know you Americans. Twice, when the whistle blew for the match to begin, you stopped in the pavilion for some time. We didn't come out till half time. We want you here. It's confidence, really. It isn't so much that their forces are needed to provide the total we need. It is that too. But the real thing is to give confidence that if we're attacked, we're all in this business from the word go. That's the reason.
A lot of generals have recently been publishing their memoirs, Field Marshal. Do you intend to do the same?
I certainly do. I'm going to write a story of my life, not just my war memoirs, a story of my life from my early days up to the present times.
When you get to the present times, will you praise or blame Sir Winston Churchill as a strategist?
I shall praise him. I think that he was a tremendous national leader. I think that he played a part in winning the war greater than any other single person. I think he's a very great man. He's a tremendous friend of mine, and I'm very grieved at the sniping of him, which goes on in these books, saying what a very difficult man he was to get on with. All great men are difficult. They must be. But these books, of course, they say in one page what a frightful person he was, and the next page they say what a wonderful, wonderful man he was. I think it's a great pity. Well, I think it's a very brave decision, and if we can do in this country without national service, from the point of view of numbers, I think it's right. I think it's right because the two don't mix very well. The national service boy, and the regular in the barrack room don't mix awfully well. One is wanting to get out, and it's a bit embarrassing for the one who wants to stay. Now, the point really is, will they be able to get the numbers of men that are needed purely as regulars? My opinion on that, of course, wouldn't be very good, because I live mostly in France, and I'm not in that very close touch with the British enlistment problems. But I would rather doubt whether they will get the numbers they want, which is 375,000 regulars. I would doubt it. I don't think it's a matter of pay. I think the pay is very good. I think it's a matter of conditions and buildings and all that sort of thing. So they've got to put all that right. It'll take time.
Do you see an integration of the three arms of the services as inevitable?
Not yet. That I have many times publicly said I think it will come, but I think that's got to be taken very, very quietly. I think it will happen after the next war, not before. I don't think I've often said that. I think the other day I did say that I was making the annual speech to the Navy League, and I said that the House isn't sitting, and I can therefore say some things which otherwise I might just say rather differently, because I would be attacked in the House of Commons. I don't mind being attacked in the House of Commons. There are people there who protect me. For instance, Sir Winston Churchill always got up and protected me. I don't say he would now, but I tell you who would always protect me in the House of Commons, and that's Mr. Shinwell, great friend of mine. Although we don't think politically the same way. But I like Mr. Shinwell, a very nice chap, and he was my Secretary of State in the War Office for some time. The relationship between the soldier and the statesman has got to be very good, because the politician, you call him the politician, the statesman, the soldier is his servant. He must obey his political chief. The allegiance of the soldier is given to the state, and it's not open to a soldier to change his allegiance because of his political views. He can't.
Marshal Zukov was accused of political ambitions when he was dismissed. Do you believe he would have been guilty of those?
No. I knew Zukov very well indeed, and my view would be that he didn't really have any political ambitions. He was I think, a very good soldier. And from talking to him and having a lot of chats with him, I would say no. But he was led into doing it, and that is very unwise. I think the soldier should keep up.